Senator Kent Conrad chairs the Budget Committee and is a member of the Gang of Six and joins me now. Well, Senator, you heard your colleagues. They have been exploding over the secrecy of this. Now, you could say, well, nothing is going to be negotiated with 51 members of the Senate. So it has to be negotiated between the president and the speaker. But we heard a lot of anger from Barbara Mikulski, from Dianne Feinstein again today. What do you say to your colleagues about the way this is being negotiated?
Look, I understand the frustration, but at the end of the day, what's critically important is the result for our country. And there isn't a way for everybody to be in the room. There have to be a limited number of people negotiate a plan that then comes back to all of us. We're all going to have an opportunity to debate, to discuss, and to vote. Again, what's critically important is that we get a result for the nation. This is a defining moment. It is a critical time. Our country is at risk. It is absolutely essential that we extend the debt, but that we do more than that. It is also critically important that we deal with the debt, because that is now a gross debt of the United States, 100% of the size of our economy, and that requires a response as well.
But let me just ask what some of your Democratic colleagues would say, and certainly Democrats in the House would say, is, but you're giving up, the president's giving up a lot of entitlement cuts, a lot of serious cuts in discretionary programs on a promise of tax revenue down the road. Aren't you giving up too much on the Democratic side?
Well, let me just say that I've not been part of this negotiation. That's the White House and Speaker Boehner. The negotiation I've been part of is a group of six. And interestingly enough, we're getting attacked from both sides. We've got the left saying we've given up to the Republicans, and on the right they say the group of six went too far in the direction of the Democrats. Both of them can't be right. I think we struck a principled compromise. Yes, there's revenue, but we achieve it by actually lowering rates and broadening the base, reforming the tax system, also reforming entitlements, and yes, cutting spending on the discretionary side, including defense. So I think we've got a fairly balanced proposal that does represent a true compromise, and I hope that whatever happens at the White House will embody many of the details of what we've proposed.
Senator, I want to ask you about the no tax pledge that 41 senators and 234 members of the House have signed. Grover Norquist, of course, the author of this. It goes all the way back to 1986. I don't have to tell you. I sat down with Grover Norquist today and asked him why the elimination, as scheduled, of the Bush tax cuts would violate the pledge. And he is saying, as he said today, again in the New York Times, read my lips, no new taxes, that it would violate the pledge. This was his answer.
One just has to recognize that in changing the 2001-2003 rules, you are dramatically increasing revenue. You're increasing the total cost of government.
But you're not changing the rules, because the rules were set to expire. So there's no change. You're not voting for anything. You're just letting something happen.
Well, if Congress, one can get into the odd hypotheticals that if Martians came and took everybody away and something lapsed because no one was there, what happened? But Congress is sitting here meeting. Congress is looking at all that lovely money. Congress is wanting to spend it. The challenge now is how do we reduce the overspending as part of an agreement on a debt ceiling. Tax increases are off the table.
What do you say to Grover Norquist about his claim that letting the Bush tax cuts expire is the equivalent of a tax increase and violates the no tax pledge?
Well, there's so much that's absurd about the positions that he's taken. It's hard to know where to start. Do we have a spending problem? Absolutely. Spending as a share of GDP is the highest it's been in 60 years. But you know what? Revenue is the lowest it's been in 60 years as a share of GDP. We're hemorrhaging revenue to offshore tax havens, abusive tax shelters, and Grover Norquist says it violates some pledge if you insist those people pay their fair share, just like the vast majority of us already do. Shame on you, Grover Norquist. Let's have some patriotism. Let's have some people that come forward and say, we understand when you're borrowing 41 cents of every dollar, it's time for everybody to contribute, and that includes the wealthiest among us that he apparently is so beholden to for whatever reason that he will accept no change. I tell you, those who accept no change to entitlements, no change to revenue, consign this country to a fiscal disaster. Shame on them.
Senator Conrad, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.